Welcome back, everybody, to the Association. In today's video, we're going to be working on something super simple. Like we said we'd never do a tutorial on this channel, but here we are. But we're going to do a really super simple, beginner-friendly shower niche, shove tower niche. And yeah, really super simple, so you just follow along, and should be not a problem at all. So without further ado, let's get into today's tutorial. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into your miscellaneous folder, and in that folder you should have a box, cube, block, whatever, I think it's box, and you want to get that out and just click on it. Make sure you have your 3 axes of degrees, so your Z, your X, and Y, and just set the depth as we have here. It's about 1 inch, 2 inches, because depth doesn't matter right now. We're just setting up the height, the height that you want, and then the width that you're looking for. And then we're setting up elevation from the tub too, but that doesn't matter because we'll have to do that once we're all done and we're bringing it back into our project. So yeah, we'll set that up. We'll center it on the on our wall here, and so far looking pretty good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna head outside into the front yard. And by the way, you want to make sure you're on a second or third level. You do not want to do this on the first level. Let me repeat: if you're on level 1, make sure you Control Alt N and make another level. Okay, so we're gonna go outside, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so I gave my box some color because you should do that. Just put in your favorite color. It's easier to see than the gray and the off-white and all that. Okay. But if you're okay, you can leave it as it is. But we're going to use the box as a template, and we're going to draw our walls. Now, before you do, just make sure your wall thickness is 1/8 inch, and your wall height is about 1 foot. Okay, and then you can draw your walls. Okay, so when you get to the end, you be sure to double click. You want to make sure those walls are joined. If you're not, you're going to have to highlight them, the 2 walls there, and then Control Alt and J. All right, to join your walls. Okay, so. We're going to, we put our cart, ahead of the horse, because that's what we do here on this channel. So we have to reset our thickness and all that. But we're going to put the floors in. Voila. And immediately we're going to click in there before we do anything else. We're going to make sure that we click on the floor, and we're going to make sure we uncheck the checked ceiling box. Check. Okay. So, yeah, let's get into shelving. Alright, so before you do your shelves, you want to make sure that your shelf height is lower than your wall height. Okay, so your wall height, oh, and by the way, yeah, just threw this in, just so you guys could see, this is all us right here. We other than the handles and stuff, the glass shelves were all us, so you do this long enough, it's a hobby for us, so you do it long enough, you can really do some really nice niches, shower and tub shower niches. But getting back to the shelf, yeah, you want to make sure your shelf height is less than the enclosure height. Otherwise, when you add texture, it's going to clip through the main wall. It's going to look kind of funny. So, the other thing that we wanted to, make your shelf height thicker than your wall height, the enclosure, if it makes sense. So, your shelf height, you want to make it maybe like 1/2 inch, okay, or 1 inch or something like that, okay. So there's something there. It looks right, okay? And you can set this up any way you please. But we're going to inspect here, because we're going to inspect as we go. You can see our shelves are not right. We need to drop the height down. And yeah, ask us how we know about the texture issue. As you can see, our shelves are even with the enclosure. You do not want that. You want it lower than, because any texture you do is going to clip and bleed through the enclosure. So again, you want it lower than. Okay, so that's our first inspection. So the next thing that we need to do, we need to chat about textures. Speaking of which, so if you're going to do a color texture, you can do it now or you can do it later. It just doesn't matter. But if you're going to do a color texture, that's it. If you're going to do a color, you can do it now or later. If you're going to do a texture, then you want to do it right now. Okay, because what happens once we export this and we bring it back in, if you haven't done any texture yet, like you see we have this marble here, then it's going to skewer. It's going to look something like finger paints. Still can't talk. It's fine. More wine. It's going to look like finger paints. So just make sure if you're going to do a texture, do it now. Alright, next thing, we're going to inspect again. We see that the floor is clipping through the walls and the shelf is also clipping through the wall enclosure. So let's just take care of the shelf first. We're just going to move it and make sure it's right against the wall. And then we're going to set our walls up here, or our floor, excuse me. And we should get a dot. That means it's properly seated against the wall, and there would be no clipping if that's the case. Okay, so we're going to go through around all 4 walls. Dot. And we're good. So now we can get into exporting our project. Alright, so we're going to long press and we're just going to highlight the whole thing here. We're going to export file. And because this is a hobby for us, so we already have a file made up for us. And if you don't have one, you can put it in documents or make a folder, whatever works for you. But we do want to export selected, not all, because everything will go if you do export all. Okay, so don't do that. So now we're back at the scene of the crime. So we're going to go ahead and hit Control-Shift-I. And that's going to bring up your importer, of course. You should be familiar with this at this point. And we're going to go out to Windows Explorer, File Explorer. And we're going to find our niche here. And Sweet Home Builds. Voila. Okay, so we're going to drag this in. And boom. There we go. Okay, so... Wait, hold that horn didn't pick up on the mic. Anyway, this mic picks up all the background noise. It doesn't pick me up. Okay, it's a great mic. It's a great mic. Anyway, so we're going to set this up so it's upright because we're not working on a 90-degree angle anymore. We're not working flat. So we're going to bring that up so it's vertical. Okay, and what we want to do here is we want to make sure we select door or window. Door or window. And that will work as like a door or window. It'll kind of like no clip, if you will, through the wall. Okay, and we're not going to really mess around with the dimensions. Again, we had a template for a reason, so we'll leave all our dimensions alone. And we can mess around with the elevation. We can kind of guesstimate where we think this is going to end up at. But we can change it once we get it into the 3D environment. So we will go ahead and hit finish and all that, and there you go. We're in. Just make sure your enclosure is even with the wall. It's not sticking out or anything like that. And that's it, guys. You've done it. That's it. If you have any questions, you can give a comment down below. And might I say, we're just killing it with the what do you call this? What do you call this? More wine, guys. More wines. The rendering. Just killing it with the rendering. But yeah, if you have any comments, just down below. If you have any questions, if you have any issues, you shouldn't have any issues because this is pretty much straightforward. But again, that's what the comment section's for. And we value your input, so let us know how we're doing. And if you're new around here, consider subscribing, ringing the bell, all that jazz. And we'll see you next time. We're going to be going outside, working around the grounds of the house. So hopefully you'll join us then. But until then, guys, be well, stay safe. Signing off for now. Goodbye, everybody.